Hello everybody, it is Monday the 1st of January 2024. Happy New Year. So let's see if this year humanity can wake up to what is actually going on and to gain an understanding of what has been done to us and what is happening to us, and get out of the clouds of spiritual teachings. It's far out there in another dimension, and really concentrate on what we do know. What we know because we have seen it in this world. And we have knowledge, we have a lot of knowledge. And stop throwing that out of the window, because there's something so much greater out there that is just beyond what we can fathom. No, it's not. They're not beyond what we can fathom. Trust me. We know, if we just were to use our heads. So what I want to talk about today is really the preparation of the sacrificial lamb. Because Jesus became the sacrificial lamb to the gods. Yeah? And he brought them a knowledge of how that could be done. And that is how a human being will go willingly to become that sacrificial lamb. Yeah? There is no struggle. You have overcome all the struggle, and you are now going willingly to be sacrificed. And I'm kind of thinking about the Wicker Man here. And that there was a rule that the sacrifice had to be willing. It had to be there out of its own free will. Yeah? So maybe that is something that is working here. That the sacrifice has to be willing, has to be made willing. So then is it actually free will if you're being made into that state? I don't know. See, in a court of justice, I would argue that. But I think that is what they're doing. Now, I've been listening to Cliff High a lot lately, and about his take of the Elohim, and good for him. That it is, we are worshipping space aliens. Yeah? And again, they are just other beings like ourselves that have elevated themselves above us. And we've accepted that. Yeah, and instead of telling them, I am what I am, go back to where you came from. Anyway, it is really, if you think about the spiritual coming to earth, heaven coming to earth, and I think that is about to happen. They will take form. We will see them. Again, spiritual, Elohim, it is a mindset. Yeah, it is how they see themselves within the whole of creation. They see themselves as elevated. They see themselves as the one glorious one, and whatever they do will be right, because they are the glorious ones. It doesn't matter what they do, it will be right, because they are the glorious one. There is actually, again, I saw a thing about the Kabbalah. There is a mindset there, a group of the Kabbalah. I'm not saying all. Again, Kabbalah is a tree that branches out into many different branches. But there's one branch that actually thinks like that. Yeah? That whatever they do is righteous and good, even though it might seem evil unto you, but it is still good because they are doing it. But whatever the Gentile does is evil. Even if the Gentile performs charity, it is evil. So it is that kind of mindset. Yeah, that is Elohim. And there you see them in the spirit, by the spirit. That's their spirit. And then those in this world that work for them, that have become of the same spirit, they are one. Although they may be a completely different species in the flesh, in spirit, they are one. They have become the same mindset of how they see themselves and everything else around them. As I said, that spirit is about to come to earth, and somebody is preparing a sacrifice here. Now again, our knowledge of what is going on and what Jesus did. And he says, I will take away all the pain, I will take away all the tears. You will be happy, happy, happy going there. We can actually see that in nature, and we know it in humanity, that state of consciousness where you do not feel pain, where you are removed from the reality of what is happening. So you see it in animals. Again, I know somebody I know keeps harping on about the cruelty of nature. Yeah, and the lion, they're eating the gazelle alive. Yeah, well, yeah, they do. But most times, if you look at that picture, that gazelle is not struggling, nor is it crying out in pain. It is removed from the situation. Yeah, in spirit, it's no longer there. The body might be still alive, but in spirit, the gazelle is no longer there. And that is a function in nature, that should happen. Shock. I mean, it happened to me in a car crash once, and I was really removed from the situation. Yeah, I was injured in that car crash, and I did not feel the pain. I did not feel the pain until later on in the afternoon when I came back out of that state into reality, and then it started throbbing like mad. But at that moment, I did not feel the pain. I know, I've heard stories, and you probably have heard stories that, especially in African tribes, that they can produce that state of consciousness in themselves where they remove themselves from the pain of what is going on, where you can basically perform some sort of surgery on them whilst they are there, not asleep. But their consciousness is removed from the situation and they do not feel the pain. I mean, it's also, I would say, in yogis in India, and what they can do, where they do not feel the pain. So there's a state of consciousness that is in nature, that is in a human being, although in my car crash, I did not do that consciously. It just happened to me, that state. Although there are humans that can deliberately create that state. They can get themselves into that. So, and here we are. Jesus was in that state when he went to the cross. Removed from reality. No longer caring. No longer in the situation. Happy clappy going to the cross. Now, again, and that taught them something because he brought that knowledge to heaven. That is the story. To the heaven, to the mighties. Now the mighties, again, they are in contact with, whether they are Elohim or whatever. In the old days, that was called being in the spirit. Yeah? When you make this connection. Nowadays, we would call that channeling. But that is what they're doing. Yeah, and they have done it for a long time, and they've become like them, of the same mindset. So they are now the servants of the gods here on earth. But where was I actually going? In nature, let's say it like this. In nature, there is a state before you get eaten, so to speak. And that is where fear kicks in and fight or flight. Yeah, no animal, no gazelle is going willingly toward the lion and say, I self-sacrifice myself to the pride. Yeah, no, they don't. They run. Or if the lion picks on something a bit more bigger than himself, like a buffalo, those things might fight. They may choose to fight. And the lion does not always win when that happens. Lion can get a real good clobbering in that situation. Again, that state of fight and flight that comes before acceptance and then getting out of the situation. Again, that is being taught out of us, so to speak. Yeah? Oh, do away with fear. Because that will take you into that state of fight and flight. Do away with fear. your lower nature. Do away with it. Do away with all judgment. Don't judge. Don't judge the situation, folks. It's all love. It's all good. You are enlightened. So don't do that. But go into acceptance, and really you are being prepared for a sacrifice. Now again, Cliff High, what is that sacrifice? Either they use us as mindless slaves, happy, clappy little mindless slaves that will do whatever because it doesn't matter. Everything is love. It's fine. Either that, or, Cliff High actually says they may eat some of us, and I wouldn't put it past them. Some of us might just end up as a Sunday roast. So that's where we've been driven into. They have learned about that function that we have, that function of acceptance where we detach ourselves from the situation. And that is actually, at that moment, you become a zombie. A very happy, clappy zombie, yeah, but you are a zombie. And here comes the zombie apocalypse. People standing there, oh, I'm detached from it all. I'm just passing through. It's all sweetness and light. The Creator is all. It's all love. And they think themselves on a higher state of awareness or enlightenment. And they're being led to the slaughter. Or the other thing that really gets me, and they really get me, is the, what do you call that? The ones that say they have replaced the Jews, in the eyes of God. Replacement theology, isn't that? Yeah, replacement theology. We are now the ones. Yep, you are. Paul made sure of that. He prepared the Gentiles for the slaughter. Yeah? Think about it. There's a high-ranking Pharisee, that bumped his head on the road to Damascus and suddenly found a newfound love for the Gentiles. How likely is that? Or did he realize what, his enlightenment was that he understood what happened in that teaching, and now he's preaching it to the Gentiles. Make them the sacrificial lamb. And yes, darlings, you have now replaced the Jews. Glory, hallelujah. You are now the lambs led to the slaughter. All Christians. But again, the state of enlightenment, we are so much better with them, and everything is love, and everything, God loves us, and yeah, God is going to eat you. That's what's going to happen. That state of detachment from reality, where you no longer feel pain or sorrow or anything else, fulfills a function in nature. It is basically a natural anesthetic, and it should be used in that way for when it is needed. It was not meant to make entire herds go and self-sacrifice. Again, there's a knowledge that is in this world, and it does good in this world, that is being used in the incorrect way. The knowledge itself is not evil. Evil comes into being by how you use the knowledge, and with what intention you use the knowledge. That's evil. So, and the last thing Jesus said, those that are like dragged down, kept in reality, so to speak, by the cares of this world, will not go there. So let's care. Let's stay in reality. And I know it's not a nice place to be right now, but we need to stay there and see it through. And hold on to one another. Hold on to the love that you have for one another. Hold on to the love that you have for this world. Have the love for this world, because it will save you. when you do not go into that state. As I said, I've seen them, and I'm trying to talk to them, saying that is not enlightenment. Yeah? You're being dragged from the knowledge of this world for a purpose, and that is God will come and get you. And you will be a willing sacrifice. And they're not seeing it. Oh no, Creator is all, Creator is love, everything is the same, everything is love, it doesn't matter, we're just passing through, and there the zombies go down the slaughter chute. I hope humanity wakes up this year. I really hope we get an understanding of what those texts actually say. Yeah? And we know that we know something. We are not complete idiots. Actually, what that text says is not that hard to understand. It's right in front of your nose. Only you're being told it's talking about something somewhere else in another dimension, and you cannot understand it. Because you can understand it perfectly well. Anyway, so that was a cheerful beginning to the year. I hope it gets better. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.